Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, RJ the Balance Blue, joined by my fellow co-host, the legends themselves, Robbie the Red Devil, Scott the very happy gooner I can see. The Premier League is back and back with a bang. Scott, I'll go to you first, given your team is sitting pretty at the top.
Yeah, mate, absolutely buzzing. Watching Premier League football this weekend has just made me realise how much I missed it. The World Cup was great. We all enjoyed that. But, mate, I wouldn't trade Premier League football for anything. Tell you what, it's been fantastic.
Good to hear, mate. Robbie down south, tuning in live. How are you, legend?
Good. Look, firstly, I hope everyone's had a safe and very good Christmas with their family and loved ones. Hope you've had plenty to eat and enjoyed the football festivities over the last 24 hours. So, yeah, happy to be back. As Scotty said, the World Cup was great, but it just hits the next level when your team's back on the screen. Obviously, we haven't experienced it till tomorrow morning, but we all know Scotty had a great one this morning.
Well said, well said. I think the key word for me is feast. We've been feasting on the dinner plates, feasting on quality football, and just feasting with the great company we've got so far. And we've had a couple of good weeks, like you said, boys. We've had World Cup. Scott and I have been having some good stuff happening with the MacArthur Bulls, so check out some of our latest reactions, just trying to get some other content for you champions in the chat. If you haven't had a chance, you're new to a channel, drop a like, share it with your friends. We're trying to grow this to the broader football community. But without further ado, Scott, take it from here, my man.
That's right. Well, boys, as we said, Premier League football has returned. We've got a few things to unpack. We are, of course, later in the chat going to talk a little bit about FPL and transfer rumours. But what better place to start than with the matches that have happened so far? Spurs. Did anyone expect any different? Now, we didn't get any predictions out for these fixtures, which was unfortunate, because I actually felt that they were going
I got them all right, Scott.
Oh, did you? Oh, how good's that? How good's that? No, look, Spurs, they've done it again, dropping points. But Brentford are no joke. They step up against the big boys. Harry Kane, again, another goal, which was great for my FPL. But tell you what, Spurs now have lost ground on Arsenal, and you can automatically assume that City will win. So not good for them, not good for Tottenham Hotspur. What do you reckon, RJ? Should they be worried?
I think what's worrying is their persistence to struggle and rely on their bounce back ability. It worked to an extent again, but they were stung obviously somewhat given the result. But overall, the break hasn't really done much for their form, I'd say. So I think, yeah, they've got a bit to worry about, Scott. I know it's early days. We don't want to be overreactionary, but Brentford were, for me, by far the better team and should feel that's a massive 2 points dropped.
100%. Robbie, I know you and I both predicted Spurs were going to have a brilliant season. Where they're sitting at the moment, these kind of little results that have crept in, you're still thinking they're nailed on for top four? They're sitting in fourth at the moment, 2 games ahead of Man City and Man United, and they're on 30 points. You guys are just behind them again. They've got 2 games more that they've played, but only 4 points. Do you still think they're nailed on for top 4?
I definitely wouldn't say nailed on, man. Especially the way their form is. Look, they're the comeback kings of the season. I think that they've saved themselves that many times. Like if we go back and actually look how many times they were behind and actually got a draw out of the game, they'll be a lot more further down the table if they actually lost half of them. But look, it's a good thing to do, to know that you've got it in yourself to come back, especially from a 2-goal lead away. And we all know that from previous, that Brentford is no pushover, especially at home. They've beat all of our teams before. But again, I was expecting a little bit more from Spurs. Like I said, they've had the big break. I know they've had internationals out, but so has everyone else. And this is the time now to kind of, you'd want to get a nice start to the season. But definitely not nailed on. But I don't think anyone's nailed on. Obviously Arsenal, they should be nailed on. You'd think City, but from third below, I don't think anyone's nailed on. I think, again, this season's going to have a lot of ups and downs, like a roller coaster. We're going to see form. We're going to see drop-offs. We're going to see injuries that are going to affect people. Transfer market's open now, so that's going to come into effect. So, yeah, definitely not nailed on. And but, yeah, you have to give them a little bit of credit. A point away at Brentford these days is not terrible.
You talked, Robbie, then about saying, anything kind of below third, you couldn't really think about locking in. Newcastle United are sitting in second place, 33 points, so they're still 7 behind Arsenal. But they're plus 21 goal difference. They had a very emphatic 3-0 win over Leicester. I thought Newcastle were absolutely brilliant. Man, they're terrifying me. I'm actually, Shano's probably not going to like it, but I'm going to lock it. I'm locking it. Newcastle are locked.
That's massive.
I'm loving what Newcastle are doing. As long as they stay below Arsenal, I can say I'm loving it. I just really like the way they're playing. They're playing good football. They're playing team football. There's no ego at Newcastle, is there? It's just a squad, a real team mentality. I'm loving what the Magpies are doing. RJ, they're 26-1 to win the league. Should Shane start dreaming or what?
Juicy odds, mate. Juicy odds. It's not quite Leicester-esque, obviously, but they are, when you look at the ladder, like you said, they're a few points ahead of those that are chasing, but it's not just about the points. It's just, you just have that confidence with the way they're playing. They just look a lot more likely to win their results, or win their matches rather. So you don't know in this league. We know how much it chops and changes. It's a long way to go, but hey, why not? They could get top 4, and it should be something that's a realistic expectation if you're a Magpie.
100%. Robbie, obviously been a critic of Newcastle in the past, but you've come round, man. You're seeing good things there. Do you think I'm out of control saying it's a lock?
He's out of control, Robbie. Tell him.
Oh no, I don't think.
Tell
I
him
don't
he's
think
dreaming.
out of control. Again, I wouldn't put it on lock. Don't give him the juju. But again, I mirror exactly what you said about praising Newcastle, mate. They're a team that, opposite of Spurs, they've come in and they look like they haven't even had a break, mate. Because I don't even know how much their win streak is, but I feel like I don't remember the last time they actually dropped points at all. And I said they're playing attractive football. Mate, that second goal from Almiron today.
Wow.
He's another guy that's just on fire. And again, another thing we thought, is the break going to affect something like that? He looked like it was just coming straight off the back of their last Newcastle game. So they look, I wouldn't want to be playing them at the moment, and they do look like contenders. As I said, for me, if they get, like I said, a Europa League spot, I think that's amazing. Anything above that, mate, that's, Eddie Howe's got to get like a manager of the year if they would have accomplished top 4 or something like that. That's crazy.
Mate, I'm actually terrified for when we have to play them. I'm dreading having to play Newcastle United at the moment because they're flying. They're flying. We're not getting the green screen back.
Almost got the sack. Jeez, I came out and I innocently just had a drink of water and they were having a go at me. I don't know why.
Oh,
jeez Louise. Tell you what. Let's move on, boys. Let's move on. Quick question here from Shano. What are your thoughts on fans singing "You Let Your Country Down" to Kane? Surely you get behind your fellow countrymen. Look, I think it's ridiculous. Harry Kane always puts England first. You can tell it's his best chance of ever winning a trophy. He won't do it at Spurs. So, yeah, I think it's silly, but it's not shocking because this is treatment. We saw Saka and Rashford and all these young fellas cop it. So it's going to happen to Kane as well. I'm not shocked. And this is what holds the English team back for me. There's so much pressure. So
just a bit of club rivalry, man. Like, I'm sure in the heat of the moment when he missed it, they were all behind him. But they were versing Brentford. It was just a little bit of, I'd say, club banter just to put him off against their team. Like, the Brentford fans were going there to watch Brentford win. They weren't there to watch Harry Kane win. And it was totally, to me, it's not even an issue. It's just part of the banter. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit brutal.
So basically what you're saying is you're a scumbag.
Basically, yeah.
Now, look, let's move on, boys. Let's move on. Liverpool. I have this sneaking little feeling with Liverpool, and I've had this feeling about 15 times this season, which is more than they've probably played. I feel like there's going to be a bit of a resurgence. I feel like Project Restart, kicking it back off now, we're going to see a more lethal Liverpool, a Liverpool of old. Might be me reacting to their good result against Aston Villa this morning. Might be the Gakpo signing. Might be, I don't know, the good vibes around Liverpool. But I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about them coming back. The only saving grace is that their first part to this season was so poor that coming back's going to be very hard. But I don't know. Are you worried, Robbie? We know you love Liverpool.
Yeah, look, I am a little bit worried, to be honest. And they were one of those teams that kind of put the red marker through early on. I thought, with all those losses and where they were sitting, I wasn't really thinking about them as a top four rival. Like, not to say that I was disregarding them, but like I said, two of those positions are pretty much nailed on. And I think it's very congested around that area. But, just on that Gakpo one, I think that's just out of nowhere. And it shocked me because I had him nailed on as a United player in January. We were interested in the summer. Ten Hag's a fan of him as well. The Dutch connection, especially with Ronaldo at the door. I really thought we were going to get this one. So reading that, and that's the thing with Liverpool, which I hate giving them credit, but when they're linked with a player, I feel like they're linked and then it's over the line in 1 hour. It's not even a day. Liverpool linked. Okay, hopefully this is not right. Bang, 1 minute, here we go. I'm like, wow. So it is.
They've done well to keep it under the radar, didn't they?
Robbie's burning. He was convinced. Gakpo was coming.
I was definitely convinced on that. I was convinced he was going to be. And I'm not one of those players that say, "Oh, I hate this guy," because I really like him. And since obviously the summer, I've been keeping my eyes on him, knowing that we're interested in him. So it's just a knife in the heart that he's gone to obviously Liverpool, our direct rival, and the team I hate the most. So I'm not going to wish him the best, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he flops in the Premier League now that he's at Liverpool.
RJ,
no salt on that one.
Check this comment. Liverpool sign another winger. Meanwhile, their midfield's dead. I said this in one of our group chats earlier today. I said, why do they need? Why is this guy their priority? Like, anyone can see that their midfield is it's on the wane. What do you make of this, RJ? Was it just great value and they had to take it, or is this Klopp just throwing the midfield out and saying we'll just attack?
Yeah, no, I do agree that midfield does need a lot of addressing. It seems to be a theme for a couple of our teams, not yours, Scott, so much. But I think it's more of the former, what you said. I think it's just really great value. You got to strike while the iron's hot, and I wouldn't say they have super depth in the attacking line. And obviously, there's chat of Firmino going, so you want to get ahead of the game. You don't want to react when you're in bare bones. So while it might not be super priority in terms of midfield, you've still got to address good business when it pops up. So, look, good piece of business, but just because he played well in the World Cup and has done well domestically doesn't mean he's going to transfer over into the Premier League. So, for our sakes, boys, let's hope he doesn't come and hit the ground running.
100%. You never know.
Do you think it's good that, like, once, or I know that obviously this is a purchase because of an injury, but when all their injuries are back, they're going to have a lot of competition is good, but there's Jota. They bought that Luis Diaz. They got Salah on a long-term contract. They just bought in Gakpo. Like, they still haven't got Firmino. Like, they've got a lot of wingers.
Unless he's got some options. Unless he's got some options to change the formation, trying to get a little bit more depth-wise.
They need to shore themselves up. They can't go much more attacking than they already are. Like that, they chuck a second striker up. They're defensively weak. I don't know. I really don't know.
This is after they just bought Darwin for 75 or 100 million this time as well.
100%. And I just don't know what's going to go on there, but I'm a little bit nervous. My biggest FPL decision this week was to Salah or not to Salah. I felt like it was game week 1 again, so I just couldn't juggle him in. Unfortunately, it was either him or Harry Kane. I wasn't going to get rid of De Bruyne because every time I let De Bruyne go, he bangs in like double-digit weeks, and then I bring him back and he's quiet. So did any of you boys contemplate Salah? Did any of you chuck him back in?
I actually got him out, to be honest. I had him in my team for the past couple of weeks at the end when we had all those congestions. But I got him out. And I was messaging you yesterday about FPL, and I feel like it wasn't a great start for me. I had Almiron, I took him out. I had Saliba for the first time. He considered a freaking penalty today. Just, it was one of those weeks where, like, the people that I could have ended up, you said Kane. I had Kane. I got him out again. He got an assist.
Oh, Robin.
But with Kane, it doesn't hurt me because I still don't think he's worth the money at how expensive he is. I still prefer to go someone like a Mitrovic who, again, scored again every weekend for his half the price.
Yeah, I had a good week. I can't lie. I think I hit 51 points so far. I've still got Captain Haaland to play. I've still got De Bruyne to play. Reece James, the only RJ we like to play. RJ, is he going to play? He better bloody play. I need him, man.
I hope he doesn't play just to put you off. But no, it'd be
You're
good.
a scumbag, mate.
Yeah, well, you said it earlier in the show, mate. Just sticking true to my character. But we'll see, mate. I've been waiting for him to come back.
It should be great to see. Should be great to see. Boys, obviously, my team this morning, it wasn't a good first half. It really wasn't. It wasn't clicking. Like I think I put out a tweet. Martinelli's crossing was so poor. The set pieces, the corners. Saka just looked like he couldn't get into the game. And Eddie Nketiah's decision-making was atrocious. And everyone knows I'm not a fan of Eddie. But I'm a fan of goals like the one he scored this morning. So keep doing that, mate. And we'll be happy. But we came out then in the second half, and West Ham deserved their penalty. It was a pen. Stupid from Saliba. It was just clumsy. He was kind of caught in two minds to make the tackle or not. And then the ball was played over his head, and he had to commit. So I had no qualms with that. I had no qualms with the one that wasn't given to us. It wasn't a handball for me. But what I loved was the way that we bounced back. And for me, seeing Wenger back in the stadium, Thierry Henry there, like all the legends were at the Emirates. So I was buzzing that we scored. I was buzzing that it clicked in that second half, and Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah all got goals. Because that front three is going to be really important for us without Gabby. Because even though he wasn't banging in goals regularly, he was making goals happen and he was pulling defenders out of place. So I was stoked. It was just good to see the team rally and fight back. For me, very happy. And that Eddie Nketiah goal, that turn. Robbie, I know you watched the match. Were you shocked by the second half performance from Arsenal?
I'm shocked in both halves. I was actually shocked on your performance in the first half. I was expecting more at home. But again, as you said, but then complete 360, that was one of the best second halves I've seen this season, not just from Arsenal in general. I really think, with Wenger and everyone there, like you said, I felt like you guys that was champagne football, man. The goals are nice. And that's the thing with Arsenal, you have to say this year, that the mentality has changed. They came out like it was a brand new game. Whatever Arteta says in there, or whatever Love Hearts was drawing on the board, it worked because they looked like a brand new team. And West Ham were there to set up and counter-attack, and they did have chances as well, especially in that first half. They could have gone up another 1 or 2 goals, but the way you guys played in that second half, I was enjoying it. It was entertaining. There were 3 beautiful goals. I really wish Saka scored that one at the end of the second half for a multi, but besides that, you guys again.
Do you reckon he did it on purpose, Rob?
Season,
I think it's
a lot of people.
Just
look, let's for once give the VAR a little bit. They got two out of VARs were right for a change. I don't think we've seen that in a while. Both penalties were right. The penalty for West Ham should have been. You're a no, Scott.
Well, no, I refuse to praise VAR, mate. No.
Well, okay, were the decisions right?
Mate, it's like seeing your ex with another fella and saying, he's not a bad-looking bloke. I can see why she left me for him. No chance. I'm never praising VAR, ever. No way. It's not a football thing.
I said, were the decisions right, but?
No, they're both wrong.
Right, yes or no?
Wrong. All of them. Everything.
He's not reasonable, Rob. We know this, mate. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry about him.
That they were right. Okay.
The unbalanced red, we'll call him.
Yeah. I'm the opposite of RJ. RJ, did you see the match this morning, mate?
Yeah, not the full match, only extended highlights, but what you said was spot on, mate. Well, why would I waste my time? I knew that the Hammers were going to get hammered. It was a waste of time. But yeah, overall, the extended highlights suggested you guys were the far dominant team. So guys are on fire. What can I say?
Yeah, that's it. Look, long may it continue. There's some tough matches ahead. And like I've said every week, I'm just going to enjoy it while it lasts, because I don't even know who we've got. We've got Brighton next, and that's not going to be an easy match. They had a good result. They had a very good result. They spanked. Who was it? Who'd they play? Refresh my memory.
The Saints.
That's right. They beat Southampton. Crystal Palace, 2 red cards, 3-0 loss. Patrick Vieira, who's had a lot of praise from all of us on the show. Tell you what, he's got to freshen it up.
Lopetegui got their first win.
Yeah, so lots of other good little narratives in there with the Premier League action. Boys, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we maybe give some quick fires to the fixtures coming up? Some predictions, sorry.
Robbie?
No, I'm good for the.
I just wanted to say the goal from, was it Solly March for Brighton? What a finish that was. Top draw. So cracking goal.
Absolutely
Do you
agree.
guys also reckon a little bit weird how I think 90% of the games were all away wins this week as well, which I thought was interesting, especially coming off the break as well.
Yeah, Boxing Day was weird, but sometimes you get these things, just these little weird instances and stats that pop up. But look, something that's certainly not looking weird to me is this Chelsea-Bournemouth match coming up tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. RJ, just quickly, give us a couple of thoughts ahead of that match and then a prediction too.
Yeah, well, the mood hasn't really improved so much since the break. We needed a reset and refresh, but the problem was most of our players went on to World Cup. So it was nice to see a couple of youngsters and fringe players get a bit of a run in behind closed doors and apparently did pretty well. But it'll be interesting to see now with the likes of the players that did go well, like your Ziyech's, your Pulisic's, how they will respond in terms of selection because they've been on the periphery for some time. I think that some of these players just boosted their sell-on value come January and beyond, but you never know. Resurrection's going to happen. And look, for me, Reece James obviously is the big question mark. He's someone that he is a game changer for us, particularly because we're in a rut at the moment where we struggle creativity-wise. I think we're in a transition phase of going from Tuchel's more efficient style of play to I've seen what Potter has brought in, which remember, for the first part of his reign, we had that very good unbeaten streak and there was a lot of compliments saying Potter ball's in effect, blah, blah, blah. And then we hit a brick wall, something big. And we haven't seemed to be able to bounce back from then. So it will be interesting to know from this game onward, because we've traditionally struggled against Bournemouth. They've given us a lot of headaches over the years, unfortunately. So I'm just looking to see what tweaks, if any, Potter is going to make in terms of both the system as well as who he's looking to trust. Because, yeah, there's a lot of debate online whether or not he's going to pick and stick with who was in the squad pre-World Cup. But, yeah, I'm just keeping an open mind.
Spot on. All right. Give us a prediction, RJ.
Yeah, look, I've got to try to be a little bit optimistic here. Christmas just passed. Hopefully the Blues bounce back. I think we can get a win here. Bournemouth aren't in the best form and are obviously in the best spot on the ladder. I'll lock us in for a KG 2-1 win.
I'm going 2-0 to Chelsea. When Reece James plays, you're a different team, man. He's so important to your system, and I think you got a few players coming back who have maybe made a point at the World Cup and who are possibly going to get some more time in natural positions to influence Chelsea. So I'm going 2-0 to the Blues. Rob, that's your cue, brother.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, I agree. 2-0 to the Blues as well. I think, again, Reece James, massive plus. And, yeah, just the way you guys are in the transfer market as well, looking like you're going to buy a lot of people, I think it's just going to be a little bit more positivity coming your way. So, yeah, Chelsea is another one we have to watch out for as well in the second half of the season.
All right. For those still watching, make sure you smash a like on the video as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to get a prediction from Robbie now for Cody Gakpo's almost team, Manchester United, at home against Nottingham Forest, who have signed about 48 players this year. Robbie, give us your thoughts, man.
Yeah, look, obviously nice to see the boys. I got to see a little cameo last week where our Carabao Cup knockout game, which was good to get all the boys back and have a bit of a run out before the Premier League started up again. And I was really actually happy with that performance against the Burnley that are flying high in the Championship. Vincent Kompany is doing quite well there. We scored some goals. We got some players back in. A few of our World Cup boys were there. It's a bit of a makeshift back four at the moment because all of them are out, I think, except Luke Shaw. Varane's out, Martinez is out, Harry Maguire's out, Dallow's out. So it's pretty much our whole back four is not there. But
why's Harry Maguire out, bro?
I think it's a sickness thing. For Harry Maguire's out. Dallow's still on World Cup hangovers, and Dallow's still, I think, not fit from his niggle he picked up in the World Cup. But like I said, just like last week, I think it'll be the same as the Carabao Cup 11. Casemiro played centre back, and wow, he was absolutely boss there. Again, just someone that can just go into a position and help the team out, and he done it with flying colours last week. So I think we'll see pretty much the same team, and I'm hoping at home against Nottingham Forest is a nice kickoff to the return of the Premier League. I don't think it'll be an easy game. Obviously, Dean Henderson can't play as we own him, and so he's on loan there. So look, I'm hoping we get this done. I'd really like to see a 2-0. A clean sheet would be nice, and a couple of goals.
I think you take them 2-1 for me. I'm not sure what cup Butcher is talking about here. Maybe the Football Capital Knockout Head-to-Head Cup, because I'm sitting first in that one, just like my team on the ladder. So who knows? Who knows? Let us know what you're talking about, mate.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going 2-1 to Man United. Obviously, with those players missing, I didn't realise you were missing so many defensively. I think Forest might be able to hit a goal, but you've got quality. You've got plenty of quality players.
Yeah, no, it should be enough, hopefully.
RJ?
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of changes there for United. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle street, to be honest. I think I could see this one being a 1-1 just because of all those changes. And Forest obviously had a good win against Rovers the other day. So you never know, boys. We've got to go for a bit of a smoky here. 1-1 in that game.
My brother would love that. If it's a draw, I think he collects $700, so he'll definitely.
Well, I'll take my finder's fee or influencer's result.
That's it.
Let's see. We got one more to predict. A good evening to Daniel as well. Daniel, can see you're a United fan. Let us know your prediction for the match.
Hello, Daniel.
Any of you other Manchester United fans, feel free to let us know. Butcher is saying that Rashford and Martial will bang in the goals. We'll see. You do have the next Thierry Henry. Let's see what he brings to the table tomorrow morning. One more. These guys have someone called Erling Haaland. We know exactly what he brings to the table, and that's goals, more goals. He's been waiting all World Cup. I think he's going to come out with absolute vengeance and go all diehard McLean on Leeds United. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I'm actually going 5-1 to Man City. I think they're going to go hard. What about you, RJ?
3-0. Double for Haaland.
Robbie?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to go as high as you. I do think it could be a 4-1 maybe. I do think Haaland, geez, we've seen what he done in the Cup last week. Him and De Bruyne. De Bruyne is playing with good players again, unlike his Belgium squad, as he very publicly announced. But
That's the world number one you're talking about, Robbie.
Yeah, 100%. But look, I do think they'll come out firing, and look, they've got to answer right back at Arsenal again. Arsenal put the gauntlet down, and they've got to keep going toe to toe with them at the moment if they want to stay with them. There is that little bit of a touch of a buffer at the top, but I do say I'll go 4-1 City.
Easy. Just before we do wrap it up, boys, a couple of little chancer updates. There was something that Fab tweeted out saying that Benoit Badiashile, I don't know if I've said that right, there are some talks about him coming to Chelsea in January.
Centre-back.
A French centre-back. Is a centre-back your biggest priority right now, RJ?
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's my biggest priority, but again, with some of the dealings we've been doing, a lot of back office purchases. We've got Vivell, like technical director. So we're doing a lot of the data analytics side of things to support Graham Potter. And some of the players we've brought in since Potter's come in have been a lot of youngsters. So I think they're targeting a lot for long-term sort of future buys. So this guy here, I've had a look at his profile because I wasn't too familiar with him, but he seems like very much a future-based purchase. So, yeah, look, if we can get him, man, I'm all for having supplemented stock. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, why not? On an Arsenal front, there's talks about Mudryk, this Ukrainian attacking midfielder. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. We've apparently made a 40 million euro bid plus 20 million in add-ons. But Shakhtar want a whole bunch more than that. But it is an opening. It does show that we are serious about him. I genuinely don't know enough about him. I mean, I can go and watch YouTube compilations, but anyway, mate, if you do a YouTube compilation of me, I'm going to look like a superstar. So if Arteta wants him, then bring him to the carpet. Let's go. I think a lot of players would like to join this Arsenal team at the moment. We're playing well. You'd come in a good position to make a good title charge. So why not? Let's get him. Any other rumours you think I've missed, Robbie, on your front?
No, look, I think the big name out there is obviously João Felix. I think him and Atletico want to part ways. I don't think I think he'll be alone at the moment, obviously, which it's not just United.
And Arsenal.
United, Arsenal. I think Chelsea could put down their glove in the ring for this one as well. Because why not? Like I'm all for alone. Like I said, it's a bit of a try before you buy. It will be an expensive one. Someone of his quality. 6 million they're talking about with wages fully covered. But look, we need another attacker. Ronaldo's at the door. We've freed up some wages on him. Obviously, we know we missed out on Gakpo, but I'd go in for him. I'd even take a Depay, honestly, on loan for the end of the season. We need another attacker. If one of our boys go down like Martial, who doesn't keep fit for very long, we're going to struggle as well.
We lost Armando Broyo as well in that friendly recently. And he was a young gun striker. Done his knee, the poor guy. It's injury FC at the moment. But, so I expect us to throw a hat in the ring for another attacking-based player as well.
There you go. And Enzo Fernandez, wouldn't that be a signing for Manchester United? Very dangerous signing. Gentlemen, have you got any quick fires before we wrap this up? We will, of course. It has been a while and our schedule's been all kinds of mixed up with World Cup action. But at this point, we will be back on Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. And then we can let you know what the future schedule is going to look like. But have you boys got a quick fire?
No quick fire from me tonight, boys. I'll have some for Thursday.
RJ?
No more quick fires, mate. You hurt my feelings before with the scumbag quote. I'm shattered, mate. I'm shattered.
Mate, you're the best scumbag I know. All right, boys. I'll chuck a quick fire at you. Just the one. Give us actually two. One is Die Hard, a Christmas flick. I've been arguing with my missus about this.
No.
It's an any time of the year flick. 1, 2, and 3, not 4. That's a bit average.
For me, it's a Christmas flick, mate. They wear Christmas hats and there's a Christmas tree. It's a Christmas flick. Another one, if it's not, give us a Christmas movie that you don't mind watching around this time of year.
Robbie?
Has to be Home Alone's right up there. Has to be. I think
we watched 1 and 2. We'll get your thoughts on that very quickly, 1 or 2. But for me, Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way. And number 1 for me as well. Slightly edges number 2 for Home Alone.
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I like number 2. I like number 2. They're both classics, man.
Yeah.
All right. Look, for me, to give a movie, I'm a little bit of a romantic. For those that know me, Love Actually, mate. What a banger of a movie! Just old school Keira Knightley.
You watching that movie, Borgie?
Mate, I've watched it.
Love Actually.
Old school Keira Knightley.
There's one I actually make sure I watch every year, like a bit of
Love Actually.
Pretty random. No, it's do you remember I'll Be Home for Christmas? I think it's got Jessica Biel when she was quite young in it.
Hey, this is a good shout.
Elf.
Look,
what about Fred Claus? That was a good one. I watched that the other day.
Fred Claus, I love that. I love that one. That's the top one. He's a top actor by Vince Vaughn. I like a lot of his movies.
Boys, an absolute pleasure. Christmas is behind us. We've got New Year's coming up. Emad's talking about Sleepless in Seattle. That's how you know the stream's just gone off the rails. It's been a great return of the Premier League. We can't wait to bring you more coverage Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. If you're watching it back, let us know what you've enjoyed so far. Maybe give us a prediction. And, of course, smash a like on the video. Until then, everyone, take care, enjoy your football, and enjoy your time with your families.
Ciao.